Kicking It with Mia. We about to get into episode 8 of Love and Marriage Huntsville. But before we get into it, y'all know the drill. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And come on over here and kick it with your girl. So we start this episode off with Chris and Martell. So Chris is meeting Martell at his property. He was supposed to sell this property. He could have made this property a rental property. But now he's saying that he's making this property Ariana's property. So he's basically getting measurements to furnish the place because obviously Ariana doesn't have anywhere to stay. Or maybe it's to help her save. Who knows? But he's getting the property ready for for her and her kids. So Ariana, I guess she's the fiance now. Y'all know how I feel about that. If you don't, please go watch my previous videos. I'm not going to get into that. But, hey, look, it is what it is at this point. Like, she a part of his life. So, hey. I think Chris is a little bit taken aback about him letting Ariana stay there. Because he's basically, I feel like Chris in this moment kind of was like, well, he said he was going to sell the house. He had me on the house to sell it. Then he got me off the house to sell it. And he basically picked up somebody else to sell it. And it never sold for whatever reason. So I think Chris is taken aback because he probably says Martell needs the money. Like, you going to keep this house too. And, you know, while you got your other stuff going on. Also, I do feel like that Chris was wondering why him and Ariana don't stay together. But I do feel like in him and Mel's divorce clause, they probably got something written in there that's saying that they either can't move in with somebody until they are married. So that's probably, I'm pretty sure, like, allegedly, I don't know, I haven't read their divorce stuff. I don't be doing all that. But I'm pretty sure, like, I don't want to say I'm pretty sure because I don't. But allegedly, I feel like it's something written in their divorce clause. And that's why him and her don't stay together. Him and Chris proceed to talk about Marsau. So Chris says that he feel like Martell and Marsau are both acting like two big old bitches. And I can say, Chris, you was a real one for that one because that's how I feel. Martell is mad with, like I keep saying, Martell get on my damn nerves. I'm not a fan of Martell, but I don't think Martell is wrong for feeling the way that he felt. Like, let's just call a spade here. The Scott brothers, Maurice and Marsau, are not innocent. They have done stuff, but I think the difference is, like I keep saying, the difference is that their wives aren't leaving. They didn't make outside babies, so it's kind of easier for them to move on versus, you know, Martell, you coming with a whole baby, and now this is somebody that I have to deal with. So, no, that's not going to fly. Like, you got to go. So I think he feels the way because, like, they all was cheating together. They was helping each other cheat. And the person who got the short end of the stick is Martell, which I ain't gonna say he got the short end of the stick. He got exactly what the fuck he deserved. But in his eyes, he feel like, you know, they always got something to say. We know Marsau is always gonna make a joke out of something. And he might, like, they always had something to say about his cheating situation when he's like, we were cheating together, so how you gonna say this about me? Which I agree with that. Like, that's what I say. I'm not mad at Martell coming at them. And it's obvious that Martell has something on them. Like, I don't know exactly, well, we know what it is, like, as far as them cheating, but I don't know what else Martell has on them, but he has something on them because they won't just go at Martell like that. Because me, personally, if I know I haven't did shit for real, like, I'm coming for your juggler. But if I know it's been some stuff that we have done and they probably have told Kimmy and Tricia some stuff, him and Maurice, you know, probably have told them a little bit or something. But I feel like Kimmy and Tricia know something. But I don't feel like they know everything, and that's why they kind of tread lightly with Martell. Like, they'll go back and forth with him. Marsau will, we know. But I think they still kind of tread lightly with him because they don't want him to go to that extreme, even though this stuff was a while ago. So we see Ken and Will, and it's the same thing. Ken is complaining about Trish. Apparently, him and Trish has gotten into it. Present day, they have since made up because they are together. If you look at social media, especially Instagram, then you know they are together. I don't know if this is for a storyline, what the case is, but I'm over it. I do feel like Will is a great friend. I feel like Will is me because this sit down, Will didn't really say much. Like, he gave his, you know, little thoughts here and there, but he didn't say much. I feel like Will probably has checked out from the whole conversation as a whole, which I completely understand because I'm the same way. Like, when it comes to my friends, you ask for my advice, I'm gonna give you my real, true, authentic, you know, opinion, advice on the situation. But at the end of the day, we all grown, so what you do is what you do. You know, I might, a couple more times, I might give you ask me, I give you an opinion. But after that, I'm just gonna let you vent. And I'm gonna answer, like, I'm gonna say something here and there, but it's gonna be like, you know, you keep going back, you know what it is, so what exactly do you want me to do? I feel like Ken know exactly what he's dealing with. Like I said this before, I feel like Trish needs a lot of therapy. Outside of therapy, I feel like Trish is just not a good communicator. I do feel like Trish is very awkward in a way. And the thing I don't like about Ken though is his threatening of taking everything, which don't get me wrong, I agree in hindsight. If you're dependent on a man and if he is, you know, the sole provider or whatever the case is, which nothing is wrong with that, but you gotta know when y'all break up, shit gonna stop turning, you know, like he gonna take what's his. And I just feel like that's another reason why Trish stays with Ken, because he does provide. Granted, you know, they are together present day. And like I said, this could be for a storyline, but we gonna talk about it. I feel like that's a reason, like, if that's why I say if Marquez really got his shit together, like was able to provide and stuff the way Ken and stuff does, and actually had a real conversation with Trish and told Trish that he wanted to make it work, I 100% believe that she would go back to Marquez, allegedly. Ken, at this point, it's like you beating a dead horse. He's saying how, you know, she goes off, which okay, with the situation about her when they were filming the Two Wicked podcast, about her just walking through and not saying anything to anybody, I do feel like that was rude, because even if you do have an issue with him, you could have spoke to Will them. You could have like been like, hey y'all, keep it moving. But I get it. You know, sometimes when you in your feelings and you mad, you don't want to say shit to nobody. But the way Will, instead of just getting up and being a man and going to let me see what's wrong with her, all that yelling and da da da, you ain't gonna give me no kiss, and which he might wasn't, you know, thinking that it was a big issue. He might was just trying to check her temperature, and he seen that it was something more than he thought it was. And when he got home, when he said something to her about it, she did blow up. So I get him feeling away. But we keep talking about the same thing. Like, this has been the same issue since y'all came on the show. She's finally divorced. So hopefully the tune has changed. Even though she's finally divorced, he can't stay with her anymore. So I was thinking, like, since they put that in like the clause or whatever, that he's not to stay there, either they gonna go back to court and appeal that, or they gonna go ahead and get married. Like, I feel like it's the same thing with Martell and Mel. That's kind of the same clause that they have in her and Marquez's divorce papers. But we know Ken not going nowhere. Like I said before, I feel like Ken want to be on the show. So he gonna stay. I just feel like we beating a dead horse here. And it like Trish know Ken is gonna provide. So she's not going anywhere because he provides. And we know Trish need to get, I feel like she need to get real therapy because she's been through a lot when it comes to situation with the grief part, the death of her family members. And not only that, I don't feel like she ever, and I don't know this to be true, allegedly, but I don't feel like she ever grieved the relationship of her and Marquez because let's be clear here. When you've been with somebody as long as they were together for a long time since they were younger in school. They had 2 kids together. Their kids are not even close in age. So they was like, I believe the son is like 18, 19, and the daughter is like 12, 13. So they're not close in age. So they were together for a really long time. So that's number one. She's probably still not over Marquez. Then Ken comes in and he want to be Captain Save him, but sometimes his feelings are valid, but he comes off like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You should be happy to have me type. That's the type of person Ken comes off to me. I just, at this point, they together, present day. So we shouldn't even really just be talking about this for real. We see Marcel and his daughter sit down, and I thought this scene was a pretty good scene. I like seeing, fathers with their children, and I like that he did say that, he tried to spend time with her and he tried to spend time with each kid individually. Because I try to do the same because that, we spend time collectively as a family, but I think it's good for kids to have their own time with each parent. So I thought that was a great scene, and I was like, okay, Marcel, I see you. Like I said, his daughter, she has his personality. She is an extension of him. And I really like this scene. They're getting their toes done, and he's basically talking to her about, she's growing up, she's dating. Her and her little friend have been together for 6 months, and Marcel is saying, that he wanted to talk to him. Maci, she acting like any little girl. Basically, like, why you want to talk to him? But as a daddy, he want to check his temperature, which is cool. I like that they gave, Tisha her flowers. Like, we know Tisha get on my nerves. We know Tisha could be a lot of things, but I do think that Tisha is a great mother. I do believe if Tisha would have came on the show and just been Tisha, she would be more liked by people. So Tisha, if you just happen to come across this video, just be yourself, baby. She says that Tisha is basically the foundation, which in a lot of cases, that's how it really is. And Marsau agrees, and I thought that was big of him because when Marsau first came on the show, baby, I was not a fan of Marsau because he was very, I'm a man and I'm right, and I did not like that. So it's good to see him in this light. Their son is about to get ready to go off to college, and he's like, things are changing, which they are, and they're getting older. I did like that he told her that if she ever find herself in any trouble, that she could call him, and it don't matter what it is. It's like he may be mad, but he's gonna come to her rescue and he's gonna help her, and I completely agree because I am the same way. We are the same way when it comes to our children. It don't matter what it is. Mama coming, daddy coming, and we'll deal with the consequences, or we'll deal with, we not happy about the situation later, but we're going to make sure that you okay and that you're good. And I absolutely love that because a lot of children, especially young girls, and both girls and boys, need that. Because I'm a type of parent where I want my kids to be open with me. Like, me and my kids have great relationships. They know they can come talk to me about anything. And some people don't. I never understood parents who don't want their kids to tell them certain things, because my mother was always let me be open. She was always like an open book as far as when it came to me talking to her about things. And so I feel like I'm the same way with my children. I definitely agree with Marcel, because if your children can't come to you, then who can they really go to? So I thought this was a great scene. I feel like I like seeing this side of them without just all the drama. If we could see more of this, them actually flipping some houses or doing some type of construction and stuff, like, the show will be back what it used to be without all the extra drama. So yeah, this was a pretty good scene. Kudos to this scene, Carlos. So we see Trish meeting up with her friend and Destiny. And that basically, Destiny is asking her how things are going. And in true Trish fashion, I feel like Trish doesn't know how to articulate herself. I feel like she holds a lot of stuff in. I feel like she tries to be a very private person because she does a lot of stuff behind scenes that she doesn't want people to know. I feel like it's one thing to be private and it's just like, that ain't none of your business. But it's another thing to the way she does it. It could just be something off with Trish. Like I've been saying, I feel like Trish does need intense therapy. But outside of that, outside of her needing therapy, I feel like it's something off with her. And I've been saying that. Her friend basically says that she's trying to figure out what's going on with her and Ken. We know present day that they are together, but at this time of filming, they were having issues. And I did agree with Trish though, with the stuff with Ken, with Ken, because like I said previously, if every time you get mad you're gonna take something, what are we doing? Especially when it becomes to the point that my child is hearing it. And she said that, they had their issues. They got into it about the stuff with the podcast. And basically she says that Ken is staying with Will at that moment. And, Destiny's kind of taken aback because she didn't know all this was going on. And Destiny does say, which is crazy, that Destiny can tell somebody that they're alive. But anyways, when they played it back of Trish lying, I fell out laughing because we all know Trish is a liar. Unless you are very gullible, then you would believe the stuff that Trish said about her and Martell. I feel like it was always more than what it was. But that's neither here nor there. All allegedly. Might I throw that in there. But Destiny is like, what's the issue? Trish is basically saying, she's trying to say stuff, but not really saying nothing. Like, she's not really trying to put the real reason out. But she did say that what really made her mad is when her son Xavier bought his keys down. So we know Ken has said it a million times that he bought Xavier a car. And so when Trish and Ken were getting into it, he basically said, you can give me all my shit back. Basically, that's what he said, and probably in so many words. And so Xavier heard it and came downstairs and put the keys on the counter like, nigga, take your shit. Which I completely agree. Like, they're saying, well, Xavier loves him. Xavier knows Ken love him. I always say, I feel like, I don't know if Xavier is really cool with Ken like that. I feel like he cool with him and he probably knows that he does do stuff for him. But after you've heard, especially as a child, that, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna take this, it's like, okay, is this shit really genuine? And he's a grown adult young man, so he's like 19, 18. He understands well, so he probably looking at it like, you don't really fuck with me for real. Soon as you get into it with my mama, it's an issue. And this is the thing. When it's dealing with kids that aren't yours, I get it and I understand. But if you're going to be in the kid's life, be in the kid's life. If you and Tricia have y'all issues, cool. That's, that it happens. That's relationships, whatever. But to be like, I'm going to take his stuff too, the kid's stuff. Why did you buy him a car? to say you bought him a car to make yourself look good, to throw it up in Marquez's face. Because if it was genuine, you would tell, you would going on about your business. You might say that to Trish, but you would tell Xavier, no, this don't have nothing to do with you. I'm still gonna pay your, if it's a car note, I'm still gonna pay your car note, or I bought that car for you, you know, that's yours. This is between me and your mama. Like, I feel like when you start doing that, it's, I don't like that. And this is why I'm an advocate for letting the men provide. He do need to come with something and letting the men provide, but to always strive to get your own because of shit, especially if it's with a man that you don't have no ties to you for real. Like, even if it's the kid's father, you still have to put yourself in a position, but especially if it's not their father. But like, I do feel like Trish has a problem with articulating herself. I feel like that's part of the issue. I've said it multiple times that I feel like Trish is the reason for a lot of this stuff, because she have issues with herself. She have issues with grief, which, you know, that's understandable. But I feel like she needs to do the proper things to put herself, to get herself in the right mind space. So if that calls for therapy, then she needs to go to therapy. I do feel like she jumped in a situation with Ken because Marquez had left and moved to Atlanta, and Ken was there, and he was willing, and he's a provider, and why not? Because I mean, just being real, if you want certain things, and not even if you just want certain things, but if you're a woman and you're doing it all alone, and here come this man, and he's cool, you like him, and then he's a provider, and he's doing for your kids that aren't his, of course, most women is gonna latch on to that. But I feel like she needs to do some real internal healing for herself that doesn't involve Ken. I feel like she should have healed herself before jumping in a relationship with Ken, or before moving in with Ken. Like, they should have dated, but not integrated everything so much and so quickly. Especially because she just recently got divorced. At the time, she was still married. So it's like y'all integrated y'all selves. And Ken did say that she doesn't act like a girlfriend. Like, the only time she acts like a girlfriend is maybe two times out of a week. The rest of the week, she on his neck. So it's like, I feel like trying to integrate things so quickly is probably the reason that they are here. Which we know they together present day. So, but I do feel like she's very emotionally unintelligent. And she don't know how to deal with her emotions. She don't know how to say how she feel. And I don't want to say that, because he do say, you know, she be saying little stuff to him. So she might be saying how she really feel. We just haven't seen it. She does say that Ken is very aggressive, and he gets very aggressive, and she doesn't like that. And we know, we done seen Ken blow up, and we seen on the season finale last season how he blew up. And again, he brought up then how he paid for everything, and if he leaves, she wouldn't have anything. So it's just a toxic situation. And I believe Trish has said she was toxic. At this point, they need to just get some type of counseling, or leave each other, or whatever the case is. We know that they are not leaving each other currently anyway, because present day they are together. So really, y'all can take us out the group chat for real. So we finally see Martell and Marsau have their sit down. To me, it's the same repetitive BS. It's a bunch of bald head ass lies still. Nobody wins in the bald head situation. He says Ariana is his fiance, so he don't want y'all to talk about her because she's part of Team Hope. Okay, whatever, Martell. At the end of the day, we know Martell is a fucking liar, and we know Martell is a lot of things. But I do believe Martell in this situation. We know Marsau can be very manipulative. And not only that, Marsau is saying he don't lie. We know his ass be lying. Martell said it a couple episodes ago that he doesn't lie. We know that's a bald-headed ass lie. Like, they all be lying. Marsau did say that he felt like Martell was a good friend for about 4 years and was a bad friend for the last 7 years. I do get Martell feeling a certain type of way. I've said this before, and I'm just going to kind of reiterate it. I do get him feeling a certain type of way because Marsau has said some crazy things and made jokes about the situation and him going through his divorce and stuff. But at the end of the day, Martell, you are the cause of all the bullshit. Like, you can't be mad because the Scott brothers played the game better than you. You can't be mad because the Scott brothers got vasectomies and they wasn't bringing no outside babies home. You can't be mad because Tricia and Kimmy, whether we think they dumb as hell or not, are staying with their men, and it's gonna put up a united front when they are with their men. Martell, you got a dummy on your hands now. Be happy. Allegedly. But you can't, I do feel like Martell's feelings are valid. But at this point, it is what it is. We know Tricia and Kimmy not leaving. Let it go. Do I feel like Marsau did some shit? Hell yeah, I feel like Marsau and Maurice did it. Maurice basically admitted to it when he said that he didn't know what Marsau did. Basically threw Marsau under the bus. So it's just like, it is what it is. This happened a while ago. They are not going to admit to anything, especially Marsau. We know Marsau is going to play the role like he doesn't know what you're talking about. We know, I feel like Marsau know that everybody dislikes Martell. Everybody's seen Martell's character. Everybody knows that his character is just not that good. We seen the way he treated Mel and how, you know, the stuff that he did, he doesn't have a good track record. So it's easy, it's very easy to be convincing that Martell is a fucking liar and he's lying about all of this. It's very easy. But at the end of the day, like I said, in this specific situation, I don't feel like Martell is lying, allegedly. But at the end of the day, Kimmy and Tricia are still with their men. They still have their families. They are together. So, Martell, you can't be mad about it. It is what it is. And like I said too, I'm not mad about his get back to make the show a little bit interesting because we know this season haven't been that great. But it's something like this episode was okay, and it makes the show a little bit interesting. So, hey, why not go with they next, Martell? Because they went at yours, and they did have a lot to say about the situation between you and Mel. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like I said, Kimmy and Tricia ain't leaving. So, we just beating a dead horse here and stuff. So, I'm over it. Yeah. Y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Come on over here and kick it with your girl, and we gonna see how it's gonna go next. Well, I don't even think they come on next week. I think they going on a are they going on like a hiatus or something? Because I could have sworn that I seen the next episode was gonna be November 7th or something crazy like that. Because I'm like, November 7th, this is the stuff that irritates me with the whole franchise. Yeah, why y'all be going on these big ass breaks for? But we'll see. Next episode, Destiny's supposed to meet up with Twan. And we gonna see Ken and Trish talk. So we'll see how they go. But anyways, y'all don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, y'all.